A faction of the South African National Civic Organization in KwaZulu-Natal has rejected Jacob Zuma's election as its chairperson in that province. The former president was elected by a different faction of the organization on Friday, but SANCO says there's a provincial executive committee in place already in KZN. Let's talk about this now with SANCO's Civic. He joins me now via Zoom. Civic, interesting developments there on your side. There's a faction now that says, that that conference where former President Jacob Zuma was elected as your chairperson was indeed a fake conference. What do you have to say about that? Can you clear it up for us?
Good afternoon. Thanks for giving us this opportunity to clarify this latest development. Indeed, as SANCO KwaZulu-Natal, we are flabbergasted by these latest events of some disgruntled members of SANCO who had that illegal and unconstitutional gathering to perform what they called is a KwaZulu-Natal SANCO provincial conference. Indeed, that was nothing close to the provincial conference of SANCO in KwaZulu-Natal. So we, as SANCO, we distance ourselves from that circus that we witness taking place there.
So according to you, former President Jacob Zuma is not the chair of SANCO?
According to the constitution of SANCO, former President Jacob Zuma, our elderly state, is not a SANCO provincial chairperson. SANCO provincial chairperson is Comrade Lawrence Dube, and the SANCO provincial secretary is myself, Comrade Civic. We held our successful provincial conference here in Durban in Moses Mabhida on the 12th of June 2021. We respect Comrade Jacob Zuma as our elderly statesman who has supported the SANCO in the past as the former president of the ANC. While he was the president of the ANC, he will come to the SANCO national conferences and give the message of support. We know Comrade President Zuma. He is not a member of SANCO. He doesn't have SANCO membership. As a SANCO provincial secretary, in terms of the constitution of SANCO, I have 4 main responsibilities. I am the accounting officer, I am the chief administrative officer, I am the CEO of SANCO, and also the appointing officer. In my capacity as the chief administrative officer of SANCO, I would know if a leader or a comrade of Mr. Zuma's stature was a member of SANCO. That definitely I would know. But I might as well share with the listeners of ENCA that back in 2019, when SANCO had its successful national conference, there were disgruntled members of SANCO who, because of their misbehavior, were later suspended and expelled. Those members, we were later informed that they went ahead and formed another bogus structure which they called SANCO. We then took a matter to court back in 2019 to get a court to interdict them from using the name of SANCO. The matter, as we speak, is sub judice. The matter is still in court. So the matter was taken by our SANCO, the only real SANCO, which took it to court to interdict some disgruntled members of SANCO who were using the name of SANCO. Now we understand that there are some of those disgruntled members who continue to scandalize the good name of SANCO with the intention of using it to achieve their self-ulterior motives. And as members of SANCO, bona fide members of SANCO, we are saying not in the name of SANCO.
So talking about ulterior motives, is that maybe why Former President Jacob Zuma, threw his name in the hat here to become chairman. But like you said, it was also a fake conference that took place. And then also, does this mean there's now these two parallel structures within your organization? That could be a problem, when you need to focus on, playing the role as watchdog in that province.
Yes, it is indeed an unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in as SANCO. It is indeed an unfortunate situation. Hence, we sought court intervention back in 2019 because as a democratic country, as a constitutional country, we respect the constitution of the land. Because what we have done as SANCO, those members, unfortunately, our elderly statesmen get to associate himself with, were processed through the democratic processes of SANCO to an extent that they were expelled from the organization. But when they continue to scandalize the good name of SANCO, there's nothing more within the constitution that we can do except to rely on the South African justice system. This is why we have taken the matter to court. Last year, we did have a Zoom case which took place in Johannesburg South High Court. And the judge decided that there should be a full trial for this matter. So this is what we are still waiting for. Unbeknown to ourselves, 2 weeks ago, prior to this bogus conference, our attorneys did write to the court to request the court to expedite this matter that involves SANCO with this bogus group. So, because the reason we were trying to get the court to expedite this matter is because we realized that people of South Africa, especially the poorest of the poor, who rely on SANCO to be their spokes organization, so to speak, are then not getting serviced, and they are being confused by these people who continue to call themselves SANCO. So we are still waiting for the court to respond to us. We believe that the latest events, as much as they are negative, but we are able to see the good in it, to say they have again put SANCO on the map. Probably judges in the court will realize the urgency of expediting this court case. But as it is, unfortunately, and they launched the provincial structure on top of the already existing structure, which is a fiasco.
Thank you so much, Sizwe. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for. Sizwe Xele of SANCO, they're just, explaining to us basically that former President Jacob Zuma, as he just said, is not the chair of SANCO, and that conference that was held where he was allegedly elected as chair of SANCO, was indeed bogus. We'll definitely be keeping you updated with that story if there are any new developments. Well